"Take me home now!" the 12-year-old screamed all the way down to the coast. He was hit with a case of pre-teen moods, his selfish gene erupting in an unrestrained, untempered manner. The trivial issue that set him off did not warrant this ill-tempered, red-faced, yelling reaction. We pulled into the car park at Currumbin Beach on Queensland's Gold Coast. He refused to get out of the car, so I grabbed my camera and headed off down to the beach. "Feel free to wear my hoodie if you get cold," I chimed as I closed the car door. Within minutes, my boy was out of the car. He stomped barefoot across the car park to the beach. As soon as his feet hit the sand, can you just picture it? His whole body relaxed. All that nonsense going on in his head simply vanished. The camera, yes, you know it. It's my Fujifilm X-T3 with a Viltrox 56 f/1.4. I'd programmed the Kodachrome 64 recipe from the FujiXWeekly website on it. So all the photos you see are straight out of camera. I haven't edited them at all except for the white border I put around them. Similarly, I've used Enhancer to edit and color grade this video, and I've used the Enhancer plugin for DaVinci Resolve, and I've used the Kodachrome 64 color preset, which I think is just perfect. I knew the skies would be moody and overcast on the beach. There were patches of heavy rain as we drove down the coast. I was hoping the sky and the light would make these beautiful pastel colors that you're seeing in the videos and the photos. And the Kodachrome preset just simply enhanced that slightly. In my mind's eye, I'd already taken these photos in the video once before I left home, and despite my 12-year-old getting his pork chop on, I felt relaxed and happy and at peace. I was excited to try out this Kodachrome preset, and I felt an overall oneness about the situation that I found myself in. As a creative, it's very, very easy for me to get stuck in my head. To think about the technical elements of making photographs or making videos, the combinations of camera and gear I should bring to a shoot or out for an adventure, thinking what I might need to do to edit my photos and videos, tinkering with words and tinkering with plot lines if I'm doing a narrative, tinkering and thinking about all these things, which are great things, but they can clog my mind and they can really stunt the creative process, certainly for myself. That's why I've just loved coming back to my Fujifilm X-T3, and I've loved using the FujiXWeekly recipes. I look back at the recipes I used for my X-T1, and even though I love them, I've come so far. I've learned so much about myself as a photographer, about what I want to photograph and how I want to photograph it, and the approach that I've taken. One of the things I've loved about these recipes is just taking a photograph. It's as simple as that. The enjoyment of capturing something, regardless if I'm in auto, which I rarely shoot in, or full manual. In my mind, I don't have to do do-overs or retakes because the camera does all the color work and I just take the photo. There's a simplicity about it, and if I can say a purity about using some of these recipes. If you're a Fujifilm shooter, let me really encourage you to check out some of the Fujifilm recipes. I think FujiXWeekly is the best place to start, regardless of whatever Fujifilm sensor you have, even some Bayef sensors it has, but all the Fuji X-Trans sensors it's got recipes for. So preload them and give them a whirl. If you're anything like me, this is what it'll do for your photography. So first of all, you'll get the film look without the film expense. One of the main reasons people love Fujifilm cameras is it's a really tactile experience. Use a recipe and just tinker with exposure and you'll really get some beautiful film-like photos, which certainly tickles my fancy right now. All you need is just the JPEGs afterwards. You'll enjoy photography more, so you just set and forget. Simple as that. Just tinker with the exposure triangle. These photos that you've seen, I've deliberately overexposed them. I really wanted that overexposed, dreamy look, which I think really delivered. It's what I saw in my mind's eye. And for me, if you're anything like me, you relax more. I know when I've got a recipe on, I just relax. I don't need to worry about the colors. I've already thought about the photograph. The camera and the recipe does all the work. I just need to tinker with exposure. It's almost too simple. Well, you might be wondering how my son went for the rest of the trip at the beach. He loved it. He's no stranger to the sand and the surf, or the beach by that matter. It was too cold to swim, but he loved just exploring the rock pools and the water holes and the critters that he found. Feeling that cool water rush over his feet. It just calmed his mind and calmed his body, which is just exactly the same way as I felt using Fujifilm. Just went from that clutter and that noise and that blah just to relaxing, which I just been sitting on this video for about 2 weeks thinking about how I can write for it, and that's the best way I can describe it. It just takes that noise and that blah out of photography and just makes it fun again. I just relax. So folks, I hope I've really inspired you to grab your Fujifilm if it's been in storage, load a recipe or two on it and get out and have a shoot. Love God, love others, and take time to listen.